high school sports fans, welcome to 806 High School Sports Connection. I'm Victor Hatchett with my co-host Jason Pearson, and we're about to give you the regional round playoff preview.
Yes.
Jason, another good week of the playoffs around here in the 806. Give us a rundown on that.
Let's start off with one of the biggest games, as you say, a big competition, 5A D1.
Yes.
How about Kenyon Randall pulling out the win over Wichita Falls Rider 35-28. Wyatt Gardner putting up great numbers. Again, he does this every game, it seems like.
He does.
35 carries, 232 yards, and 5 touchdowns.
Wow, what a game.
He played great for the Randall Raiders, and that was a big win. It was 28-21 at half. Both offenses slowed down to really a minimum, but both got scores. And luckily for Randall, they got the final score to win the ball game.
Yeah.
That was Randall's first time ever advancing to the Elite Eight under Coach Wes Wood. We interviewed him, we'll put that later, and Brett Tapp. How about the last drive? It was tied up at 28. 3rd and 6. He had Brett Tapp break off a 35-yard run, which set up the game-winning touchdown while Wyatt Gardner with 2 minutes to go and the defense held. This is big for Randall. You know,
Yes,
as you said earlier, when they lost to Tascosa and made a 4-1, you said they would bounce back.
Yeah.
And they bounced back all right with 8 straight victories.
Yes,
12-1 on the season, and now the reward is the #1 team in the state, 5A D1, the Alito Bearcats,
Yes.
who won the state championship last year.
Yes, they did.
What do you think about that?
Hey, man, I like what Randall's done all season, man. That team has been real competitive. We previewed them quite a bit this season, you know, from being out that Amarillo area, but they've done a great job to do something the first time in history in that program and to go to the Elite Eight. I think that's a great job by the coaching staff and those kids down that way, so you wish them luck moving forward.
Oh, yeah, we do. And that game's in Snyder. I kind of feel like that's kind of a home game for Randall. Hopefully they can pull it off and get the win. It's going to be a mighty task, but hey, we're rooting for you guys here in 806. Let's jump into 3A D2. You had Spearman. They gave Cisco all they could handle. They came up short, 41-32.
Yeah.
It was 27-14 at half, you know, and Spearman, I felt like, just couldn't put that final dagger in the Lobos. And the Lobos fought out, and as the #1 team in the state should do, they came out on top.
Yeah.
Bo Brown, Tanner Beard, they had a great seasons for the Spearman Lynx, you know, so Spearman has nothing to hang their head about. They played great. They lost, came up short, but they fought valiantly. Just last year, they had played Cisco and got beat 37-6.
Yeah.
So obviously, we saw the improvement, just not a win.
Yeah.
So give me your thoughts on that.
Hey, man, a great season by the Spearman Lynx, man. You know, to go 12-1, they have nothing to hang their heads about, man. They've done a great job this year. And, you know, I hate they went out that way, but, you know, they showed a lot of competitiveness to fight the team the way they did. You know, losing to them last year in a pretty big margin, but closing that gap this year showed the improvement of their program, like you said earlier. So you just wish the best for them moving forward also.
And their cover's not bare, so they should be right back in it next year, ready to fight, and maybe take that step to get to the Elite Eight. They've got stopped here twice, but believe me, they'll be back.
Yes.
And when we come back off break, we'll be breaking down more regional games and previewing some Elite Eight games. Victor Hatchett, Jason Pearson, 806 HSSC TV.
Hey, high school sports fans, welcome back to 806 High School Sports Connection. I'm Victor Hatchett with my co-host Jason Pearson, and we're going to continue to give you the playoff run-around of the regional round.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Jason, it's good, man. It's getting good. This time of the year is great.
Yes,
Give
sir.
us some more rundowns.
Let's start off 3A D1, the Shallow Water Mighty Mustangs, 18 miles out of Lubbock. Those guys are doing fabulous.
Yes.
I asked you earlier, we talked earlier about this game. I said, how can a team win a game when they only have 131 yards total offense? Shallow Water still won the game by 11 points.
Yeah.
because of their defense, picking up the slack in special teams. Jake McMillan with a blocked field goal, and Jake Johnson with the recovery took it 88 yards for a touchdown to end the half to give him a 10-0 lead. The third quarter, Brian Blackburn tackles, strips, recovers the fumble, and takes it back 42 yards for the Shallowater Mustangs. And that, to me, sealed the deal. The Buckaroos had good offense. They had 294 yards of offense. Kate Cornett had 131 total yards for the Buckaroos, as much as Shallowater's whole offense had. But the defense, as you say, wins championships. They bend, but they did not break.
Exactly.
And they won a big game for the Shallowater Mustangs to advance them to the Elite Eight. What do you think about that?
Hey, man, I like that, man. You know, Shallowater's been tough all season, man. And, you know, for them to go in and play defense and win a game in that matter, that says a lot about their program, their defensive coordinator, their coaching staff, period, man. And, you know, if they continue to play that way, man, watch, they may get a trip down to Jerry's World if they keep playing ball the way they playing ball.
That's true, man. And Preston Scaff also had a block punt to stop another drive. You know, I feel like Shallowater to get a pass, as I say, what I mean by that is their offense didn't execute the way it normally does.
Yeah.
It averages 41 points a game.
Yeah.
They only got 17, and the offense accounted for no points.
Wow.
Kurogo had 20 carries for 55 yards. By far his lowest output of the season, but he's still that team, Coach Maxfield, as you say, they still got it done.
Yeah.
That bodes well for where they're going in this playoffs. Let's jump into, how about Canadian beat Stratford 34-0. 34-0. I thought this game was going to be closer. I actually said I thought Stratford would get the win because they lost 56-35 the first time they played. But obviously, Canadian is a monster. Something different that we haven't seen in a while.
Yeah.
They're fueled by their Sweet 16 loss last year. They lost in the same round.
Yeah.
Not this year. 34-0. Tanner Schaefer, 239 yards passing, 4 touchdowns. Braden Gala, all-state receiver, 10 catches, 139 yards and a touchdown. What do you think about those Canadian Wildcats?
Hey, man, them guys are tough, man. And I probably got the toughest defense in the 806 I've
Yes.
seen all year, man. And look at the differential, man. They had 29 first downs to 4 by Stratford.
4?
Wow.
Whoa.
Man, I mean, they locked and loaded on defense that day, man. And for that to be a big differential like that, man, that says a lot. And so, you know, you wish Canadian the best moving forward for the rest of the season. They look like they're on the title run.
Yes, they do. But they'll have to get by this team, the Abernathy Antelopes.
Yes, they will.
How about Abernathy beating the state champions 17-14 in double overtime?
Oh, wow.
This was 3 games in 1, as I stated before. The first half was all Abernathy. You
Yes.
know, Garrett Roy had a 35-yard touchdown pass to Trey Bender and a 1-yard scramble for a score.
Yeah.
Second half, he had Wellington Kelton Long with a touchdown run. He had a 9-yard touchdown pass to Gerardo Martinez with 2 minutes to go in the game. The first overtime, nobody scored.
Yeah.
Clarkson missed a 44-yarder. The second overtime, Clarkson hits a big 47-yard to win the game.
Woo.
How about Nick Clarkson? 35 yards rushing. That ain't just something to like scratch your head about, but he also kicked 2 extra points. Had an interception to stop a drive inside their 20 and had the field goal to win the game.
What a game.
Nick Clarkson, how about that?
What a game.
That's what you call team ball.
Yes, it
Doing
is.
whatever you can to win the game.
Yes.
And that defense also stopping that Wellington train that has scored 58 points the week before.
Yeah.
Proud of those Abernathy Antelopes.
Yeah.
Proud of Wellington also. What do you think about that game?
Hey, man, this is a lot of excitement going on in Abernathy right now, man. So those Antelopes are on a real good high. Being 12-0 for the first time since 1951. Man, that says a lot about them and their program, their coaches, the fans, the parents, man. What a job y'all done down there in Abernathy. So I hope that, you know, they can keep winning and move forward and get a chance to go to Jerry Worlds also.
That's right. And if you go, me and Vic will be right there cheering y'all on.
Exactly.
When we come back off break, we'll be jumping into a couple of more big games I'm sure you guys are interested in us talking about. The Seagraves game and the Crofton game. Victor Hatchett, Jason Pearson, 806 Hssc TV.
Hey, high school sports fans, welcome back to 806 High School Sports Connection. I'm Victor Hatchett with my co-host Jason Pearson, and we're going to continue to give you the regional rundowns of the playoffs.
Yes, sir.
Jason,
Yes, sir.
this is the division that we've been waiting on all year, man. Give us the rundown, man.
This 2A is deadly, but it's coming down to the two teams we thought.
Yeah.
How about Seagraves beating Farwell 56-20?
Wow.
It's a tough score, but it wasn't as tough, as it was as it looked.
Yeah.
I mean, it was 20-14 at half, and Farwell had a chance there, but like Coach Herford must have told him something, and it worked at halftime because they outscored Farwell 36-7 in the second half.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about Corey Kyle, our player of the year. 18 carries, 300 yards, 6 touchdowns. Touchdown pass. Interception. He also had a fumble recovery for a touchdown.
Wow.
8 total touchdowns in a regional matchup is insane. Unbelievable.
Yes, it is.
Shows how much talent God has blessed him with.
Yeah.
And he's a humble kid. He knows that.
Yeah.
Tanner Rodriguez leading the ship. 11 carries, 63 yards, and also commanded the offense well. And also played free safety on defense.
Yeah.
Adrian Allman had 200 yards for Farwell rushing and 2 touchdowns too. I interviewed him. He did great.
Yeah.
So Farwell has nothing to hang their head about. They're just ran up in front of a train, I feel.
Yes, they did.
J.J. Herrera did great, but he took a lot of shots in that pocket. Like I said, I think Seagraves is starting to find themselves on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah.
And that's not good news for anybody that's taking on Seagraves coming up. What do you think about that?
Hey, man, Seagraves, man, what a game by those guys. We've been talking about those guys all year with the player of the year, Corey Kyle, man, and things he do. But, at the same time, it's a team sport.
Yes,
and
it
it
is.
takes all those guys together to do what they've done this season.
Yeah.
So, Seagraves, man, I wish you luck moving forward. Keep working hard. And let the chips fall where they may. Hopefully the state championship, baby.
Yes, sir. But there's a team in their way of a big major purple and yellow roadblock called the Crosbyton Chieftains. Everybody thought Quanah was going to give them a rematch and give them a tough game, because Crosbyton beat them 35-0 in the season. Crosbyton beats them 42-14.
Oh, wow.
How about Nathan Childers with 15 carries, 321 yards, and 5 more scores?
God.
All he does is score touchdowns. All that line does is open up massive holes. I think me and you can run through. I'm kind of old up there, but I think I can get through there. I may not get 50. I'll get 10 yards.
Yeah.
Man, I'll tell you, but that wasn't the story to me. The story to me was the game within the game with Bobby Childers. Bobby Childers getting beat deep on the first touchdown. Quanah up 7-0, 89-yard touchdown pass. Gets angry a little bit, has 4 interceptions after that, and took 1 for a pick 6, 43 yards.
Wow.
That's what people have to deal with Crosbyton. Seagraves, when you see them next. Crosbyton is not they don't have just one weapon. They got about 12 or 13.
Yeah.
If you scheme out Nathan Childers, you got to worry about his brother, Tim Childers, Bobby Childers, Tanner Clark, Ian Mendez, Elliot Rios. They are loaded.
Yes, they are.
They are loaded, and they are starting to hit their stride. Coach Rogers has their team playing at a very hot peak right now. That is going to be one of the biggest games, maybe the biggest small school game in Texas when we have Seagraves and Farwell next. What do you think about Crosbyton win over Quanah?
Man, a great win by Crosbyton. Great job by Crosbyton. Still undefeated.
Yes.
We had an opportunity to go down and see those guys right at the beginning of the season.
Yes.
And, man, it's amazing to see how far they came and how they continue to progress and get better during the season, man.
Yeah.
And all I got to say is watch out for that train because it's rolling right now. And so you're looking at a big collision here in the next few days between them and Seagraves. Like you say, probably the biggest game in the state of Texas, man.
That's right. And when we come back off break, we'll be previewing our top 5 games in the Elite 8 round. Jason Pearson, Victor Hatchett, 806 HSC TV. 306 Hssc TV. I'm Jason Pearson with the host Victor Hatchett. Double team, tag team doing our thing. We're finna go over the top 3 matchups in the Elite 8 round.
Yeah.
State Quarterfinals. We didn't preview Randall versus Alito. I hope Randall wins that game. That'll be a mighty task. But just know we're rooting for Randall.
Yes, we are.
And if Alito wins, hey, we're still rooting for Randall. Coach Wood, a great coach. Brett Taft, Wyatt Garden, great team right there. 12-1 will not be an easy win for Alito if they do get the win.
Yeah.
Let's jump into our first game we're gonna talk about. Let's talk about Shallow Water versus Brock. 3AD1. Big game. Friday night, Abilene Wiley High School, Abilene, Texas, 7:30 p.m. You know, Shallow Water, you know, they got a couple of big wins, you know, and they've been defeating, to me, some upstarts, you know. Here comes Brock, you know, straight off a overtime win over Denver City. Then come back and they get a 1-point win over Wall, with Wall missing a 30-yard field goal at the buzzer.
Yeah.
You know, Letty French is a great running back for Brock. He had 3 touchdowns, 178 yards last game for Brock. And I feel like Brock's been, you know, kind of getting those, you know, lucky but good bounces.
Yes.
You know, I don't know if the ball bounces their way this game with Shallow Water. You got Cooper Ogle only had 55 yards last game. You know he's going to be looking to redeem himself.
Yes, he is.
Because that was his lowest total year, as we stated. You know, Winston Ailey, Chris Contreras, you know, platooning at quarterback. Both of those guys are good. You got Preston Scaff, Jake Johnston, Brian Blackburn on that defensive side. And their defense is starting to, as you say, start to assert themselves. Maybe want to take the lead on this team. This is a big game in 3AD1. What do you think about this?
Hey, man, you know, Shallow Water, we've been talking about them quite a bit this season, too, also. You know,
Yeah.
and Shallow Water's been playing some great defense in the playoffs this year. And, man, you know, that old adage, we'll keep saying it, that defense wins championships. I don't care what nobody says. If that defense is playing the way Shallow Water defense is playing, Jerry World, here comes Shallow Water.
That's right.
Jerry World, here comes Shallow Water to play for that state championship.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
That's right. I feel like Shallow Water may win this game by double digits also. You know, we won't make a prediction. I'm going to go with Vic and stop making predictions, but Shallow Water plays the way we've been seeing them play. They may be playing for a couple of more weeks.
Yes.
Let's jump into 2A. D1 and D2, both brackets, all 4 teams are undefeated.
Oh,
So that means a combined record of 48-0.
God.
Something's got to give, Vic.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Abernathy versus the number 2 ranked team in the state in 2A, Canadian.
Oh, my goodness.
Nick Clarkson and Garrett Rowe, both over 1,000 yards rushing this year. Ron Lewis and Ron Solis doing great on the defensive end. Cassius Cunningham, Sterling Kitchens. I mean, Abernathy's got some weapons, but what about Canadian? Tanner Schaefer, all-state quarterback, 3,000 yards passing. Braden Keller, all-state wide receiver, 1,700 yards receiving this year. And their defense is just unstoppable on another level. Only gave up 93 yards to Stratford. They scored 47 the week before.
Wow.
What do you think about this game in 2AD1?
Man, you know, first of all, I want to give a shout out to Abernathy, man, for
Yes.
a great season they've had all year, man. Being 12-0 for the first time since 1951.
Woo!
And for those kids to move forward and help that program along like that says a lot about the coaching staff, the parents, the fans, everybody down in the Abernathy area, man.
Yes.
I'm so excited for those guys down there. And just keep playing, man, and you just let the chips fall where they may. You never know what can happen, man. Any given day, any team can get beat. I don't care how powerful you think you are, who you think you is. You can be beat.
That's right. And Canadian will have some confidence because they did beat Abernathy by at least 3 scores the first time they played. They opened up the season this year. Last year they played Canadian one convincingly, but
Yeah.
Abernathy is a different team. They're going to have to play ball control.
Yeah.
That's one thing they're going to do. They're going to play ball control, keep the ball away from that Canadian offense, and they're going to have to win, as you say, they're going to have to win in the trenches.
Yeah.
They got to win there and push that line back, you know, to keep it close.
Yeah.
And maybe pull out a win. Let's jump into the game everybody's been waiting on. Everybody's been talking about.
Yeah.
The much ballyhoo game between the two D2 schools. Crosbyton, ranked number 2 in the state, versus Seagraves, ranked number 1 in the state.
Wow.
Maybe the 2 best players in the state. You have Corey Kyle at running back, Nathan Childers, both over 2,600 yards rushing, both over 40 touchdowns apiece.
God.
Let's talk about the two guys leading the train. Let's talk about Tanner Clark at quarterback for Crosbyton. Let's talk about Tanner Rodriguez at quarterback for the Seagraves Eagles. I mean, this game right here has state championship written all over it.
Yes,
it's just 2 games early. And I was talking with you about it. I feel like Crosbyton has more weapons. That don't mean they'll get the win. That just means that they take away their main pieces. There's other pieces to the puzzle for Crosbyton, I feel. Crosbyton, if you take away Childers, Nathan Childers, you got to worry about his little brother, Tim Childers. Then you got to worry about Bobby Childers, Tanner Clark, Ian Mendez, Elliot Rios. Crosbyton is loaded, folks. Coach Rogers has a lot to work with in that stable. But then we jump to Seagraves. You have maybe the best running back in the state of Texas.
Yes.
In the state of Texas.
Yes.
He's a big boy. I mean, to get 8 touchdowns in a Sweet 16 a regional game is unbelievable.
Ooh.
Tanner Rodriguez is a great senior. What you need on a team to take it to the state is a senior to keep everybody, level, on ground. That's what he's doing. Pignon is doing great. He's caught 2 touchdowns the last 2 weeks out the backfield. So they're starting to introduce the passing game. You just can't key in. And then what shocked everybody when Corey Kyle took the handoff, they thought he was going to run. He threw a touchdown pass to Pignon, man. If they start incorporating that, it's going to be hard to beat Seagraves. You don't know what's coming.
Yeah.
What do you think about this game?
Probably the best matchup in the lower division schools in the state of Texas.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that right now, man. Those 2 teams, man, have been playing great ball all year.
Yeah.
2 fabulous running backs, man. I want to see that game, and that's Plains Capital Park next Friday at 7:30.
Yes, sir.
Hey, I want to see that. The greatest matchup I think I've seen in a long time in lower division football.
In a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, Crosbyton, 12-0. Honestly, I didn't know where this was coming from. I kind of expected Seagraves to be here.
Yeah.
I did not expect Crosbyton to be here. Not in a bad way. I just ain't seen him enough. But after that first game, when he had 335 yards and 5 scores in the first game against Tahoka for Nathan Childers, I was like, okay.
Yeah.
There's something going on there. You just don't get 335.
No.
And he got 300 yards 7 times this year.
Wow. God.
And much props to that offensive line. Remember when we went to go present the award, we both said, we got in the car and said, that is one of the biggest lines we've seen.
Man, those kids are huge, man. And they whirring people. They whirring on people too, man. They letting their wheel out on whoever they playing, man. And if you got an offensive line in a smaller school division like that, of that size, watch out, man.
And they both play the same way. That's why it's going to be such a great game, because both teams, they kind of go through the motion in the first half. They come out the second half and they drill you.
Ooh.
Drill you. Crosbyton scored 28 unanswered in the second half last game. Seagraves went on a 36-7 run in the second half.
Woo.
I mean, this either, to me, it's either going to be a shootout, an all-out shootout, or it's going to be a defensive struggle.
Yes, it is.
But one thing I think we may both agree on is it's going to come down to turnovers. Who protects the ball more? Seagraves, their last 2 games, they kicked the ball off to start the game and have forced the fumble and recovered the fumble. I've never seen that.
Wow.
Against Groover and Farwell, they kicked the ball off and got the ball on a fumble.
Wow.
You got to take care of that ball. You don't want them kicking the ball off and just giving it right to them. And then that means they get the ball in the second half too.
Oh.
You don't want to face that offense
No,
where
you don't.
you have to. But on the Seagraves side defense, what are they gonna? They're kind of small up front besides Chewy. Are they gonna be able to hold that line? You gonna be able to hold your ground? Because if you don't hold your ground, Nathan Childers is gonna be running up and through that line all game long.
Yeah.
And Adrian Allman had a great game against that defense.
Yeah.
They just made some key mistakes, and they did come with some key plays. That's what good teams do.
Yeah.
But Adrian Allman had a great game. Adrian Allman is a good running back.
Mm-hmm.
But Nathan Childers is a great running back.
Yeah.
Oh, man. But your final thoughts on that game before we get out of here?
Man, I'm just excited to get the opportunity to go sit and watch that game, man. That's probably one of the games I'd rather sit back and watch, man, before a pro or college game or whatever this weekend. I want to go see that. So I'm excited.
Plains Capital Park is excited.
Yeah.
Because both sides are going to be full.
Yes, they are.
It's funny, me and Vic saw this game coming 6 or 7 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I said if they put them in the same bracket, they're going to meet in the Elite 8. We saw the brackets, and I said, There's one team I was looking, I said if Booker, they may give Crouch some trouble, but Quanta knocks out Booker. And we both said, this is coming, and here it is. We both said Abernathy and Canadian were coming.
Yeah.
It came. We did not see Shallowater doing what they're doing. Happily, we're happy for that.
Yeah.
So, we're out of here, guys. We're just so excited for next week. We hope you guys get you some wins. This is the Elite 8. If you don't get a win, you've made it this far, and we're all proud of you. But like we said, we have no favorites. We want everybody to win. So, Vic, take us on.
Hey, you guys have a good night and continue to watch high school football. It's getting exciting.
Yeah.
Peace.
Peace.